Welcome to Katsukian, Artivism, Funky Politics, R&R on Sports, Neighborhood Connect, Blues in the Basement, Riffin' on Jazz. Your three black chicks, Best in Blue, Katsukian, KUDZUKIAN. From LPI Studios in Memphis, Tennessee, it's Best in Blue. In Blue.
You're listening to Best in Blue on the Kazukian Network. I'm your host, DC. This evening, we've got with us Lieutenant Tyrone Currie. Lieutenant, how are you, sir?
I'm very well.
Great having you here. Officer Clayton Turner, how are you, sir?
Great, doing good.
Good. Officer Cassandra Leake, the best looking one of all of these other two guys here. But anyway, Cassandra, how are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
Glad to have you here. We want to talk a little bit about basically tying in what you all, the three of you all are responsible for with our police department, and that is community policing.
Okay.
It's a concept that a lot of us have heard about, but Lieutenant, kind of run through us a little bit on what community policing is and what it means to our city here in Memphis.
Community policing, we actually have our own division called COP, Community Outreach Program. And what it is, it builds a relationship between the community, the businesses, the schools, and the citizens to reduce crime, come up with innovative ways and strategies to reduce crime. And as a result of that, we also get into mentoring with children, and we try to direct them on the right path through education and identification and sometimes enforcement. And
COP in the way it's set up now in the city of Memphis has been around for how long?
COP has been around, well, we restructured it in 2011 under the previous director, Tony Armstrong, and Director Rollins decided that it was working so well, let's continue on and build on it. So it's been around since 2011 under this restructured phase. But Memphis has been doing community policing since probably before you and I were born.
Wow.
In the early 40s, 50s.
Wait, hold on now. Did you say the 40s? I claim the 50s, but I won't claim the 40s. Look, I'm through with you, man. Officer Leake, I understand that there's a program out there called GREAT, and I'm not so sure a lot of folks know about it, but there are some participants. You've got quite a few here in our city. Tell us a little bit about GREAT and the origins of GREAT and who's actually participating with GREAT.
Well, GREAT is an acronym. It stands for Gang Resistance Education and Training, started in 1991 in Phoenix, Arizona, and it's here in Memphis and across all the other areas in our country. And what it does, it focuses on the ingoing grade of a middle school. So we'll go into the sixth grades in a local middle school, and it's for 13 weeks. They'll get workbooks, they'll have assignments that they have to do, and we focus on life skills. So we'll teach them how to be good communicators, how to conflict resolution, we'll talk about bullying, things like that. And at the end of the program, they'll have to do a project on how to make their school a better place. And just to give you an example of how this will affect our community, last year at Kingsbury Middle School, we actually went out into the community and put it into action. And there was a fence right across from the elementary school that was plagued with gang graffiti. And so we decided to paint it the Kingsbury colors, which was maroon and white. Okay. And so we took the students and painted it. And to this day, when I drive by, it's still painted, maroon and white with no gang graffiti. So I think it impacted the community in such a positive way.
Wow. You're listening to Best in Blue on the Kazukian Network. Now, the GREAT program, is that a citywide program, or is it targeted towards certain sectors of the city?
No, it's citywide. There's 5 officers assigned to our unit and a supervisor, so 6 total. And we go into just various middle schools. Usually we'll take requests if a middle school requests us. If not, we stay in the ones that we're assigned to each semester. And we just go in there. So it's citywide. So It's not, focused in one particular area. We're all over North Memphis, South Memphis, East Memphis, South, just all over the city.
Oh, wow. Great. Officer Clayton Turner, you thought you were off the hook. I hear you and Tyrone are cutting up over there with COP. The Youth Crime Watch, some holiday. Tell me a little bit about what you all focus on with COP in terms of the Youth Crime Watch.
Well, with the Youth Crime Watch, we use that as our educational piece. We go into the schools and we educate the kids on the different things that the police department can do or cannot do. Mm-hmm. A lot of them have myths about what police officers do, our purpose, and we try to distill those things.
Okay. And so when you do this, I'm assuming you're invited at the leisure of the of the Shelby County school system, and I'm assuming you get a lot of input from them in terms of what they're looking for you to say to the kids. And are you guys doing this all over the city, all over the county, all over the county rather?
Well, we're all over the city. City of Memphis.
Yeah.
We have about 10 officers,
Yeah.
and those 10 officers have about 5 to 10 schools each.
Wow.
So it's their responsibility to cover all those schools and make sure that the students that they have there have everything they need.
Is that right? Now, holiday programs. Everybody wants to know what's going on for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Not what you're eating, but kind of some of the programs that the COP program has fostered over the years. I know about bikes, but I'm not so sure how that program works.
Well, with our Thanksgiving program, first of all, we give away turkeys. We give away actually a complete meal for Thanksgiving, and we deliver those all over the city. We partner with several companies that give us the food items, and we as police officers, we take them throughout the city, and that's the entire city. It takes about an all-day process.
Wow.
And with the Christmas program, it started in New Chicago, and we were only servicing about 30 students at a time each year. When I took it over from Officer or Lieutenant Manning, now we're doing about 110 families, and we're looking to increase it this year. So.
Oh, great. You're listening to Best in Blue right here on the Kazukian Network. Now, Lieutenant Currie, it appears that all of this that's going on, and you're getting the credit for the good stuff, and sometimes we get credit for the bad stuff as well too. The funding mechanism, I'm assuming, is some of this is coming out of the police department's budget, as well as maybe grants and some other foundations that are supporting the many programs that the COP program sponsors.
Sure. Most of our funding is coming from a federal grant, mostly Department of Justice, and that's ran through our 12th floor through our grant writers and researchers. We are the ones that receive the resources and ensure that those funds are used to actually prevent our children, mostly in our entire community, from becoming victims or become perpetrators of crime.
So if community-oriented policing works, and it's proven that it's working in our city and in other cities, why isn't there this huge groundswell, and just in your opinion, people jumping on board saying, hey, let's expand the programs. Let's expand all of these programs we have out here to touch as many of these young people as we can, because that's where it's gonna need to start.
Exactly. Let me share something with you. Memphis has one of the best, and I'm not just saying this just to pat ourselves on the back, and we received several national awards for our community policing program. We have one of the best community programs in the nation because we have a good citizen and police relationship. If you see all the trouble and the horrific things that are going on around the nation, you do not see that in Memphis, even though sometimes the conditions are there. But we built such a relationship that we really get along. And if you check out complaints, there's very few complaints where you see an officer is shooting an innocent person or we out harassing folk. We have a very good relationship. As a matter of fact, other cities and states around the country are calling us. What are you guys doing with the community that you all are not burning like some of our other major cities? And we're not, because we've been investing in the city for decades in Memphis, and that has paid off. You can, anytime you see a director walk off the bridge with thousands of young people, no incident, that is something that community policing developed and instilled in the community. We get along. Now, we're challenged to ensure that the citizens get along. We have some of our children that are inflicting crime on each other. So we want to better that, just like we bettered the relationship between the community and the police program.
You're listening to Best in Blue right here on the Kazukian Network.
I'll play the blues for you.
Blues in the Basement with Stephanie and T. Shaw.
Some great festivals going on around the tri-state area.
Got your dancing shoes?
Man, as long as I'm with you, baby, I'm always be on my toes.
Drop that zero.
Bring your blues, boo.
I got them.
We'll see you.
Thank you.
Blues in the Basement.
Thrill is gone.
Blues in the Basement, part of the Kazukian Network.
The thrill is gone away.
rolling down the street with my radio on, listening to Funky Politics.
The mayor of the city of Memphis, Mayor Jim Strickland. How are you, sir?
Fantastic.
We keep it real, we keep it right, and we keep it funky.
Funky Politics, part of the Kazukian Network.
Hi, I'm Officer Cassandra Leake with the Memphis Police Department, and you are listening to the Best in Blue right here on the Kazukian Network.
And we're back with Best in Blue right here on the Kazukian Network, visiting with Lieutenant Tyrone Currie, Officer Cassandra Leake, and Officer Clayton Turner. You know what? We want to talk a little bit about partnerships. All of this cannot be done, we know, on the backs of taxpayers because there's taxpayer dollars set aside for, of course, law enforcement and some other issues. But the business community, the district itself, there's plenty of partners out there. I know, Officer Leake, you and I were talking offline about the GREAT program and how you've got partners that assist with the work that you do. Tell us a little bit about those partnerships that you've developed out there.
Well, one of the components that the GREAT program has is our summer component. So we have a summer camp that we operate during the summertime. And in order to do that and make it free for the kids to come to, we need partnerships. And one of the partnerships that we have is with the Shelby County School Food Program. And so they do provide breakfast and lunch to our precinct, which is Airway Station Precinct, every day for the kids to eat. Also, Memphis Credit Union, Employees Credit Union, they purchase all the t-shirts for each of our campers to wear. Plus, we have a big cookout at the end of our camp, and they provide all the food for that.
Wow, the City of Memphis Credit Union
yes.
and SES is stepping up?
Yes.
Wow, we need some other businesses out there to do the same thing, I imagine.
Empire Beauty Supply or Beauty School, they do all the girls' hair and nails for free during our camp. So we take them if they want to get into cosmetology. The girls, they talk about that. Tennessee Technology cuts the boys' hair free. So, I mean, there's a lot of businesses here in Memphis that really works with us.
Well, let me ask you this. So how many young people do you have in this GREAT program?
We usually get about 25 to 30 boys and girls each time. It's not a co-ed camp, so we do 25 to 30 boys one week, 25 to 30 girls the next week, and then we get a different set of girls and boys the following weeks.
So it rotates every week. You get a fresh set of young people to come in and work with.
Yes.
And they all walk away with a T-shirt and possibly a new hairdo at the same time.
Yes.
Well, now that's community partnerships right there.
Yes, it is.
Wow. Officer Turner, you thought I had you off the hook again. I know that in the work that you do, you've got plenty of partners, especially in terms of your holiday program and your bike program. So who are some of those folks that are stepping up to the plate, and how are they helping you perform the tasks that you need in order to get to our young people?
Well, we have a number of community businesses that help, from Charles Rettner Group, Walmart, Sam's, Hog Wild, Cascade, the list goes, Budweiser, Hershey's, the list goes on. And I'm going to stop because I don't want to not name somebody. But
you said Budweiser. Well, I'm assuming they're not giving away beer, though. Man.
I wish they would, but no. They're not giving away beer.
I got you. Wow. You're listening to Best in Blue right here on the Kazukian Network. And we've got Lieutenant Tyrone Currie, Officer Clayton Turner, and Officer Cassandra Leake with us. Now, let me ask you now, all of those partners are helping you all with bikes, with turkeys, with whatever it is that you have a need for, right?
Mm-hmm. Whatever we ask for. And it's amazing. It's really whatever we ask for. They don't say no to anything. They want to help.
Yeah.
They want to help. They want to help the youth, and they want to do everything they can to put it out there that they're helping. So
okay. Lieutenant Currie, it seems like that you've got a list of people that you can go to. Now, in terms of, we've talked a lot about young people. The GREAT program, the Youth Crime Watch, the holiday programs. But in terms of being beneficial to some of those elderly people we have in our communities and our neighborhoods who may not see some of these programs, who are some of the folks and what are some of the things that you all are doing to help us keep some of our safer, our more marginalized in terms of age safer?
Okay. With our elderly, what we do, we make their neighborhood watch meetings. We go to their churches, and we encourage them to protect their homes. We give out brochures and tell them about how important it is to keep the bushes low, keep your house well illuminated, keep lights around, and we give them all the safety tips that they need to make themselves safer. And also during the summer months, one of our sponsors, Home Depot and Lowe's, donated hundreds of air conditioners.
Oh, wow.
And I was surprised that we had so many senior citizens without air as hot it has been these past few weeks and months. And we found some licensed electricians and contractors who installed the AC units in for our elderly people. So we spent a considerable amount of time installing AC units. We thought those were life-saving techniques.
You know, and it sounds to me like COP, period. And what you all do, because we hear the negative. We hear the negative all around the country of what's going on, and a lot of it's true, and some of it may not be true.
Exactly.
But and as the director and I talked before, sometimes the Memphis Police Department gets the same stuff thrown on them that it's going on at the CPD in Chicago, or maybe the NYPD, or in, let's just say, in Sanford, Florida. But for a long time, we've not had any major incidents like that in Memphis. And then we've had our share. I don't want to sugarcoat anything. We've had our share of incidents, but for the most part, the COP program appears to be working in terms of bridging the gap with the community and Memphis Police Department.
Exactly, and that's why you do not see Memphis burning. We invested in the community. We built those relationships. These are our family members, our cousins, our friends, our partners, and we don't want anything to happen to them. I will say this about the Memphis Police Department. We put a tremendous amount of time and resources in training our officers on doing the right thing and being lawful and legal and treating people the way you want to be treated. So we cannot stress that enough. And training goes a long way. We have one of the best trained police departments the nation will ever see or find. As a matter of fact, they're seeking us out to see what are we doing to keep such a high profile, high professional unit. And we think if we continue to do that, continue to get the word out there more like we're doing here, we think that message will go throughout the entire community and we'll be one of the better, safest cities in the nation. And I'll say this too with the mayor's point. Just last week, the mayor had a youth challenge. Over 1,000 children there had a talent show, and it showed Memphis' best youth doing their talent. No incidents, and the mayor was very well received for bringing so many students there during the summer with no incidents. The more activities, the less delinquent acts you'll have.
Wow. You're listening to Best in Blue right here on the Kazuki Network. I got Officer Cassandra Leake, Officer Clayton Turner, and Lieutenant Tyrone Currie sitting in with us talking about the good work of the Memphis Police Department. Officer Turner, you were going to say something, sir?
Well, I was just going to add to, in addition to what Lieutenant Currie was just saying, we also teach students best practices.
Yeah.
So that lowers the incident rate as well.
Yeah,
we teach
talk
them,
a little bit about those best practices you're talking about.
Well,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Well, for example, with traffic stops.
Yeah.
I tell the kids when I'm talking, I tell them the same thing that I tell my two boys who are 16 and 19 and are driving. Yeah. When you're pulled over by the police, we have tinted windows in all my vehicles.
Yeah.
Let all the windows down in the car, every last one of them.
Wow.
Keep your driver's license, your proof of insurance, and your registration in one location, even if you have to make a copy of them. Put them in the sun visor.
Yeah.
That way, when you get pulled over, you see those blue lights, you pull to the right, you let all your windows down, you reach up and you grab all your information, put it in your hand, put both hands on the steering wheel. You wait for that officer to come up and initiate. Wow. Whatever he says, no matter what, your answer is yes, sir, or no, sir. Yes, and as I tell my boys, I don't care if he tells you your mama is ugly. Yeah. You say, yes, sir, she may be. Because the side of the road is no place to have an argument with the police officer. It's just not a place. He's scared, you're scared, so something bad may happen. We don't want that. Yeah. So if you keep calm, most times that officer will bring his level down because you're so calm.
Yeah.
And if you have all your information, he's going to ask you for those three things. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, he's going to ask for those three things. And when he asks, here you are. He's going to go back. He's going to either write you a ticket or let you go.
Tinted windows, all down.
All down.
Keep your license, registration, insurance right above you, hopefully in the sun visor right there where it's easily. And then when he comes to, or he or she comes to the car, hands on the steering wheel, and let's be respectful on both sides.
Exactly.
Wow. Officer Leake, you agree?
I agree.
You agree?
One thing I like about our program is it develops that positive relationship between law enforcement and the community. Students. A lot of students have a negative opinion about law enforcement based off of their parents' opinions. Yeah. And so when we go into there, we're able to deflect that. We're able to say, you know what, we're just like your mom and dad. We are parents, we're brothers, sisters, wives, husbands, and over a 13-week period, they end up saying, you know what, I was wrong. And they come to you and they see that we're people too.
You're listening to Best in Blue right here on the Kazukia Network. We're visiting with Lieutenant Tyrone Currie, Officer Clayton Turner, and Officer Cassandra Leake.
Time is truly wasted. There's no guarantee. Smile is in the making. We gotta fight the powers that be.
Rolling down the street with my radio on, listen to Funky Politics.
The mayor of the city of Memphis, Mayor Jim Strickland. How are you, sir?
Fantastic.
We keep it real, we keep it right, and we keep it funky.
Funky Politics, part of the Kazukia Network. Artivism, Funky Politics, R&R on Sports, Neighborhood Connect, Blues in the Basement, Riffin' on Jazz. Your three black chicks, Best in Blue, Kazukian, KUDZUKIAN.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Tyrone Currie with the Memphis Police Department, right here on the Kazukian Network.
And we're back with Best in Blue right here on the Kazukia Network, sitting here having an interesting conversation with Lieutenant Tyrone Currie, Officer Clayton Turner, and Officer Cassandra Leake. And Officer Turner, we were talking about descriptors and some best practices out there, and how sometimes some of us are walking down the street or driving down the street and all of a sudden we think we're profiled. But can you give us a little insight onto how that actually comes across to you all as officers in cars and so forth?
Yes, sir. Most of the time when officers get a call or a description, it's really vague. Mm-hmm. It comes out, and I'm just going to give you an example. It may say, 8636, please be on the lookout for a robbery suspect. He's male black, wearing white T-shirt and blue jeans. That's it.
Black suspect, white T-shirt, blue jeans.
Blue jeans. That's it. And you believe it or not, everybody you see from that point
has a white T-shirt and blue jeans at that time.
Exactly. So we have to stop them because we're looking for a robbery suspect. So we began to stop you. Yeah. And once you're stopped, the best thing to do is to not have an attitude. Yeah. Don't change a 2-minute conversation into 3 or 4 hours of us detaining you, trying to make sure you're not the person we're looking for. Wow. And most times it's your attitude
that will that will elongate the stop. In other words,
exactly. Because when officers stop you, they're looking for certain things.
Yeah.
If you're running, we're looking for that chest. Yeah. The chest gonna be pumping. You're gonna be sweating, maybe. Yeah. Even if it's cold. If you've been running, you're gonna be sweating. Yeah. So we're looking for certain things. Now it turns to you. What are you saying? So if you're not breathing hard, you're not sweating, and we stop you, you may be the suspect. Maybe you decided not to run. Yeah. So we're gonna ask you a couple questions. Where you just coming from? Yeah. Well, where you headed to? Yeah. I'm just leaving my aunt's house. Well, how long were you there before you left? Yeah. Now, just answer those questions. Most officers will be like, well, this ain't the guy. Let's go.
Let's go. Go to the next
But if you get to, man, y'all just harassing us. I'm just walking down. You might be the person I'm looking for. So then I said to you, I detained you for a second. I'm going to ask you some more questions. See if you can answer those questions. And then I'm going to check those questions. I'm going to check it out. Yeah.
And this could take more than the 2 or 3 minutes it would have been originally, just to say, hey, look, I'm Daryl, I'm DC, I just left Boston Baked Beans over there, and I'm not your person you're looking for.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Lieutenant Currie.
Yes.
Man, how do we get to this place sometimes in America, and how do we get to this place in Memphis sometimes where we've got people who believe they're targets. We got people that think that the police department is unfair to them because of this particular stop or they said something to them. You know, what are some of the other things that you've got out there as examples that you've seen in your storied career?
Through my career, if you just follow the commands of the police officer, in most cases, everything will be fine. I'll give you another example. When you're stopped, don't be reaching. Don't reach. Many people keep their license in the glove compartment. To a law enforcement officer, in the glove compartment is a place a gun can be kept. Many people reach in their back pocket to get their wallet to get their license. In officers' training, a gun could be kept in the small of your back. So I tell them, keep your hands on the steering wheel in the 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock position. Yeah. and take all commands from that officer. And if he is not professional, you have avenues to file your complaint. We have Internal Affairs Bureau you can go to and file your complaint, or you can go to either one of the precincts, or it's your right to ask for a supervisor if you think you've been mistreated. But on the street is not the place to argue your case. And I tell people, and one other thing, I saw a young man get out of his car because he kept his license in the trunk. But I didn't know what he was doing.
That's a whole nother story.
So do not keep your driver's license in the trunk. If so, wait till that officer comes to you and give you the command or permission to go to your trunk, because he has no idea what you're doing, and he's on a high alert because everybody's not good out there.
You're listening to Best in Blue right here on the Kazuki Network. We're visiting this evening with Officer Cassandra Leake, Officer Clayton Turner, and Lieutenant Tyrone Currie. So is it illegal for me to keep my license in my trunk?
No, it's not illegal.
Yeah.
But it's not smart when a police officer stopping you.
I didn't ask you, was it smart? I just said, was it illegal?
It is not.
I know it's not smart,
No,
but okay. So
no,
having your information in the vehicle somewhere on your person is the best thing to do. But as Officer Turner said, having it somewhere visible where you can just reach and get it and go back to the 10 and 2.
Exactly, and that's why we spend so much time going to the schools and community organizations and churches to give them that information. A knowledgeable and an informed community is a good and best community. And we take it for granted, those simple things, but people just do not know. So we want to inform them and educate our community.
Wow. Officer Leake, what you got?
Well, him talking about the guns kind of brings something to mind. When I'm in the schools, a lot of the kids want to talk about guns. They play with those airsoft guns. And one of the things they like to do is spray paint the tip black so it looks really real. And so we have an open discussion about that a lot of times in my classrooms about what to do when they're out there playing with those in their community or their neighborhoods. Because the community will call and say, hey, we've got some juveniles out here playing with guns. Yeah. And so when we make the scene and we see them out there, we don't know if it's a pellet gun or if it's an airsoft gun or if it's real. And so I always tell the students, talking about obeying the commands. When the officer tells you, put your hands up, put your hands up. Don't try to grab the gun if you've got it tucked in your waistband or wherever you've got it looking like you carrying a real gun. Just do what they say. If they tell you to get down on the ground, get down on the ground. But a lot of times, students at the age that I teach, they're at that rebellious age. They want to be, in charge. And so they, want to argue back. And I'm telling them, don't argue. It's not the time or the place to do that because you're not going to win the argument at the end of the day. And unfortunately, across our country, we've seen a lot of young people get shot and killed by officers because we don't know. Yeah. A 12-year-old can shoot you just as much as an adult can. And so we tell them, just obey.
Well, I guess my question with these airsoft guns, and I've seen them, even as a kid when Currie, you and I were back in the 40s growing up, we had the I guess the 6-shooter, but it was a big silver looking, and now that I think about it, that thing kind of looked a little real too when I think about it, Mm-hmm. So I guess parents need to hear this and say, look, if it's an airsoft gun, if it comes with that, I think it's industry-wide, you have to have an orange tip or something like that on. Leave it on there. Don't let the kid paint it.
Right.
Don't let him, because we don't, and then he'll go outside and play with it like there's nothing wrong with that. Right. And the parent, again, parental supervision. Parental supervision makes a difference, right?
Exactly.
So, wrapping a bow on this thing, COPS is working in Memphis. It's working around the country. One or two things that you'd like to see happen over the next several months that seem to be challenges to your program right now.
I would like to see the community get more engaged. You hear Director Rollins saying all the time, it's all of our responsibility to reduce and prevent crime and educate people. And if you know someone in your family is not going the right direction, we encourage you to pull them in. Hey, do something positive with your life and don't engage in delinquent activity.
Yeah. What about you, Officer Turner?
I would like to see more people tell it. In the communities, a lot of the people or citizens, they have this thing, no snitching. Yeah. Well, I would like to see that change. If somebody's doing something in your community that you do not agree with, tell it. Yeah. Just flat out come out and say something. I give my card out all the time, and I tell people to text me. Yeah. You can send me an email. Nobody has to know that you sent it to me. Yeah. Tell it.
Yeah. Officer Leake, you working with those babies. What would you like to say to those parents out there?
This is a cooperative program. I mean, we need the help of the parents. I only get them 45 minutes once a week. I need them to reiterate what I'm teaching them in the classrooms, that violence is not okay. If somebody puts their hands on you, that does not mean that you have to fight them back. It's okay to walk away.
Wow. You are listening to Best in Blue on the Kazuki Network. Let me tell you something. We've had a hard-hitting show, and we are highlighting the good work of the Memphis Police Department. And our guests this evening have been Lieutenant Tyrone Currie, Officer Clayton Turner, and Officer Cassandra Leake.
Best in Blue, recorded live at Kazukian Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. Executive producer Larry Robinson. Best in Blue, part of the Kazukian Network.